All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Right Now. Now, if you are a parent who feels like you're doing too much, you are not alone. A viral op-ed in the New York Times is encouraging parents to, quote, consider underachieving.
Who would have thought that?
Yeah,
It's
right?
It's funny to say that out loud, but super interesting article.
The story's going to make sense once you hear it. The pressure to be involved in school events, sporting events, going beyond taking your kid to these things has really become overwhelming. I have a 2.5-year-old. This is something that I am experiencing. News 8's Shannon Handy has the details and reaction here from local parents, and then we're going to talk to her here on the other side of the package.
As a mom of 2 school-age kids, I can definitely relate to this. The author of that article says collectively, as parents, we should be doing less. The Holderness family, known for their relatable parenting videos, recently poked fun at the constant requests schools make of parents.
Reader of the day Thursday. Yes, all the things. I think it's funny. I will see things in the group chat and all I'll write is, was there another email that I missed? And it's like, yes, there was another email that I missed.
Mom of 2, Rachel Strauss, says keeping up can feel impossible, but she still feels obligated.
Shannon, I'm a working mom. I feel all of the pressure, right? Of course I do. I overly volunteer. I feel like I need to do all the things.
A recent New York Times op-ed called Parents Consider Underachieving argues those expectations have gone too far. Author Rachel Feinstein wrote, I dream of a day we can all take it down a notch without shame. On CBS Mornings, she shared her breaking point.
Last year, I was sitting in the vestibule of my kids' school. I had 4 events that I had to be at from 9 to 3. I had my laptop. It's super hot. I'm trying to work. And I'm just thinking, like, this is crazy. Who wants to be doing this?
She points to a nonstop list of activities, from math mornings to poetry picnics, and notes that many of us didn't grow up with this level of parental involvement. So what's changed? Mom of 2, Yesenia Auer, says social media plays a big role.
With social media, also the need to document everything compared to when our parents, when I was growing up, I mean, that didn't exist. So I'm sure my parents had an easier time saying no to a lot of things because that pressure wasn't there. But yeah, I've definitely felt that.
Yesenia runs the popular Instagram page San Diego Girl Mom, sharing free activities and money-saving tips. She says learning to say no has been key, and so has surrounding herself with other moms who do the same.
I even started hanging out with certain friends that are more like underachieving on the mom side because, you know, it's like who you surround yourself with, and it really works.
Like the op-ed, she believes doing less can actually help you be more present.
Being more intentional, being more present kind of falls along with it.
Rachel Strauss agrees, emphasizing what matters most.
They know that I'm there for them. That's the most important thing.
Shannon Handy, News 8.
All right, and joining us here in the Right Now studio is Shannon Handy. And Shannon, I want to peel back the curtains because when you came in, you were like, hey, I don't really know, like, your daughter's not really school age yet. Like, you may be not experiencing this yet. And I was like, Shannon, let me tell you. The 2.5-year-olds are being roped into this stuff. So
Yeah.
believe me, I feel you. And I know that it's always hard when you do these stories. You don't want to inject yourself too much, but I think that this is the perfect example of we're humans, we're parents, we can talk about this. And I think for both of us, we realize that we are being asked to do a lot more than maybe what our parents were asked to do.
Absolutely. And I think Jack could even, talk about this when he was growing up, even though you don't have children, at least not yet. But I want to preface this by saying, and you and I talked about this, I want to preface this by saying, I love my children's school and I love the involvement and how much they want us to be a part of the children's lives. I know you feel the same. So it's not a knock on the school. I think it's just a knock on where we've come as a society as a whole and those expectations.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot. And you definitely feel that pressure, especially for us as working parents. You want to be that parent that you see at all the events, but oftentimes you can't. And so it's just a constant struggle. And the article, like I said in the story, it pokes fun at all this. But her whole point was, if we all underachieve, then we have nothing to compare ourselves to.
Right.
So then we'll all take it down a notch.
Because I think one clear thing here is that these are not events that are parental mandatory. A lot of times, so at least from my experience, a lot of this is social peer pressure.
Sure.
Both directly and indirectly. I'll give you an example. For the Chinese New Year, there was an event, and our school for Amelia, my daughter, who's 2.5, they love to celebrate all holidays. Like you could go in and propose, hey, I want to come in and celebrate X holiday. Here's the reasoning behind it. I want to like share my culture with the school. And they love that. They embrace that. I love that. I want my daughter to know about all of the different things that go on in the world. But it was a text from another parent who, again, we love this family. They were like, hey, are you guys here? And that wasn't their intent to make us feel bad.
Sure.
But I remember that was the first time that I was like, oh, well, I kind of thought that was something for the kids. Like, I'm working, like, and I felt that guilt for the first time.
Absolutely.
And then it was like, I don't feel like I can miss anything anymore.
Sure. Yeah, it's hard. And with our jobs, you know, we don't have flexible jobs. We don't work from home.
No.
We are gone out of the house the entire day or the entire shift. So that's really, really difficult when you don't have a job that's flexible. And I feel it constantly. I mean, anytime I'm able to make it to one of my kids' events, I kind of joke like, oh, see, they really do have a mom. I'm here because I put so much on my husband. He has a more flexible job. But yeah, it's really, really hard. But I think the whole point is, you know, other than poking fun at this and asking people to underachieve, I think like one of those parents said in the story, your kids know you're there for them. And we have to figure out a way not to compare ourselves to others and just to know that we are the best parent that we can be. And our kids are happy and they're healthy and they're well-rounded. And at the end of the day, all these parents that are involved, like the ones that are able to volunteer in my kids' classrooms, even though I'm not, they are kind of taking over that role for me. And I appreciate that because I can't be there. But it is a struggle. I mean, mentally, you go through all the emotions.
Because I think, and again, I haven't read the article, but seeing your piece, what I'm gathering is that it's not the school's fault, because I love, again, the fact that there are events for my child to go to, there are field trips, and there are opportunities for the parents to be involved. But I think it's sort of the communal aspect of parents. And I think the one mom who pointed out the sort of the impact of social media. We are all more connected than we have ever been. And I think that that's something that our parents didn't have to go through. It's not that they necessarily did it a better way or did it the right way. It's that they didn't have the ability to see if Nikki's parents showed up at the school recital. I mean, sure, they could have, looked around the crowd, but they weren't looking for the school. Like, I don't know about you. Our school has an Instagram. I'm looking to see what are they doing at school? What are they doing? And what parents were there? And I think that that's sort of, again, this article is taking a look inward. It's a self-reflection of parents and how it is you compare yourself to other parents.
And the other thing about this article is she's writing down and saying out loud what a lot of us are thinking but don't want to say.
Yeah.
So, I just think it's interesting. I've had a lot of people, ask me about that story in the article, and it really is bringing up a lot of valid, good points. I don't think anything will change from it. I think maybe some parents will be influenced and say, okay, I'm going to start underachieving. But I think it just is a good water cooler topic, if you may. But yeah, I think it just really brings up a lot of good points. I mean, when we were talking about this earlier, and I mentioned, I don't know if you guys can relate, and you said your 2.5-year-old, but like Jack, when you were growing up, I mean, all your parents, they probably weren't at the school as much, and there weren't all these events.
Yeah, you were saying you were kind of the kid who was like, Mom, like, no.
I feel like my generation in particular has been associated, whether fairly or unfairly, that's not for me to determine, with like the concept of like helicopter parents, the rise and a little bit more of helicopter parenting.
Yes.
I never experienced that. And of course we had parents who would go to, would be very active in the PTA meetings and always signed up to chaperone on the field trips. And there would always be some parents that showed up far more than others, but we never had that concept of class moms. That's a new thing that I haven't heard. No disparaging either way. That's just, I grew up in a different state, different school district. That's just not something that I saw. But, I would say from a kid's perspective, a former child.
You're the closest to that out of the three of us.
From a former child.
Yeah.
Some, including myself, still can't tell the difference because I feel like I act like it sometimes, but that's beside the point. But I mean, I never once thought that it was anything that necessarily changed my relationship with my parents or
Right.
anything like that. Of course, that's a
Bingo.
case-by-case basis. If you already have a bad relationship with your parent, this might further exacerbate that
Sure.
issue. But if you don't, I think there's always a healthy degree of separation, and that's how I felt personally. I was never
That's a good
offended
point.
when mom said, "I can't go with you to the zoo on your field trip." You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
But
And I
that's
think
just me.
Parents need to remember that.
Yeah, I would just say that one of the best pieces of parenting advice, and I'm always open to more parenting advice from everybody, but just A, you're winging it. B, is that you can't put your feelings on your child. Meaning, if, let's say, you want to do something with your kid and they say no, and believe me, I hear the word no a lot.
Yeah, you're in
lately.
that stage.
I can't say, well, hey, that makes daddy sad, or hey, that makes dad angry, because that's not fair. Amelia, my daughter, any other kids, they're figuring it out. So again, I can't put my feelings of how I feel if I miss an event on my daughter. My daughter might be just totally happy. I can't put my feelings or how I think my kid might feel on her and let that impact my decision making. I've got to work. The way that we are able to live here, to be able to send her to school, is that I've got to work. So if that's what I'm doing, she'll know eventually. She's 2.5 right now, so she thinks I was a firefighter today because I was out at the fire. She thought literally she's like, Daddy's helping fire. I'm like, I'm not really helping.
Moonlighting as a firefighter.
Yeah, I'm not really helping. Like, Chase isn't on the case here,
Daddy's
Paw Patrol.
so cool.
Right, yeah. But she will eventually learn, as we all did, that our parents have to work to help make all these things a possibility.
I enjoy spending time with my parents. I value spending time with my parents. If I'm in a school setting, my happiness there did not depend on whether or not I was spending time with my parents or not, because you're building independent relationships. That's the non-educational portion of school that's so valued, is that social aspect. And, I feel like sometimes you want that. Yeah. Regardless of what age you are, it's healthy to get that introduced early.
I think with anything, this just goes to show that a healthy amount, moderation is key. And that includes how much you put into, sort of the extracurriculars.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. You do what you can, and you're all killing it. If you know
that's right.
that you're doing the best you can, parents, then try not to feel guilty.
I heard a
about
good phrase
what other
is like,
people are doing.
if you feel like you're not doing enough, then that means you are, because that means you care, right? Like if you care enough that you're worried about how much it is that you're putting in, then that shows that's sort of that like guiding light that like you are doing enough. Yeah.
I
so,
like that.
Yeah. For all the parents out there, you are doing enough. Yes. And look, go to the events when you can. I mean, they're fun. I am very much looking forward to, we got an end of the year performance coming up here. I keep asking Amelia, what are you guys doing? And she's just like tight-lipped.
Oh yeah, it's
I don't know.
very
It's just gonna be a
secretive.
surprise.
They're very cute. Those end of the year performances.
We'll see.
Very cute.
Can't wait.